everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Rita. Thank you so much for stopping by. So before we get into the makeup, I would really appreciate it if you hit the red button and subscribe to my channel. So for today's makeup, I just wanted to go for something very summery but lightweight. So I do live in Houston, so the weather is very hot. So that being said, whenever it's so hot outside, I want my makeup to be as lightweight feeling as possible. So I go very light on my eyeshadows and on my base. So for today, I wanted to create something very summery with a very pretty kind of like more bronzy skin, but using products that make me feel, of course, suntanned without having to get the sun on my face, because I almost never get sun. I just don't like the sun on my skin in general, and I like to keep away from the sun. So anyway, I came up with this look, and I am using a brand new product that I'm super excited to try. This one is the newest Charlotte Tilbury addition to her Pillow Talk line. This one is the Lip and Cheek Glow. So like the name says it, this is going to be perfect for both your cheeks and your lips. So here is what the color looks like. I got mine in the shade Color of Dreams. So anyway, if you want to see how I got this makeup look, then please keep on primers. So the first one is going to be the Bobbi Brown, the Enriched Face Base. And I really love this because it really works sort of like as a double up, as a moisturizer and as a primer. So I'm just going to apply this pretty much everywhere. I of course already have my skincare done. I always do that previously before my makeup whenever I wake up every morning, but I love this one because it kind of like still gives you that very much hydration like your moisturizer would, but it's sort of like a primer in it as well. So now that my first primer is pretty much set in, I'm gonna go for my second one, and I want a highlighting one. So this one is by Becca, the Backlight Priming Filter. It's pretty old in their collection, but it is such a beautiful one. And this one I'm going to go ahead and apply with a brush. I did squirt a little bit here on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to start placing this all over my face. I'm going to try to concentrate the majority of the product on the higher point of my face, so pretty much my nose and the top part of my cheeks, but ultimately I am going to be blending this everywhere. Such a beautiful primer if you want to have a bit more of like an illuminating base before your makeup. So for my foundation, I'm going to be using the MAC Water Weight SPF 30 foundation. So this one is going to be very kind of like lightweight and more on the light coverage. So I believe you can build it up, but it's gonna be very minimum. I haven't used it in a while. I actually purchased this, I believe last year, like on the summer, specifically for my summer makeup. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this all over my face, and I'm gonna be using the same brush just because when a foundation is so lightweight and very light coverage, I feel like it gives me the best application whenever I use a brush. And I'm gonna be doing the same thing, just applying this on the back of my hand. And this is a foundation that you do have to shake very well before you actually apply it. And it is a very runny one, so I'm gonna try to be careful to not make a mess. And I'm going to start blending this into my skin with this same kind of like a bulky brush I started using. For concealer, I'm going to be using my beloved Hourglass Banished Concealer. I absolutely love this one, and this is the perfect shade for me. I've got mine in the shade Apricot. And this foundation is just a little bit on the warmer side. I don't know what is it with me that I was buying a lot of very warmer foundations, and I'm really more of a neutral undertone, so you can definitely see a little bit of a difference, but I think once everything is done, it should be good, because I did use this foundation a ton and I never had any issues looking weird or anything. It's just that now I am also a little bit lighter than I was whenever I got this. I really haven't been out at all, so this is just a little bit darker for me and just a tiny bit yellow. So this concealer is going to help kind of like neutralize a little bit more my face. For powder, of course, I'm going to be using my beloved Hourglass Veil. Nothing here that's new. Whenever I find a powder that I like, I just stick to that and really don't bother to change it, just because I mean, if I love it, why change it? And this one is such a beautiful powder if you have drier skin like myself, because it's not going to be, even though it's going to provide you, you know, that powder effect to set everything in, it's not going to be heavy, and it's not going to look kind of like make your skin look extra dry, because powders of course tend to dry your skin and make it look a little bit more crepey, especially when you have dry skin. But this one is just such a beautiful one. I mean, Hourglass in general just makes the most beautiful powders. And of course, to finish up my under eye, I used my beloved Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana bronzer. This is a bronzer, but technically not really. This is a beautiful under eye powder, and I'm just gonna add a little bit extra. And I like to put this also around my mouth and nose area, wherever I used my concealer. I've been loving my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I'm gonna be using the bronzer side to do a little bit of a contour, and I like it because it is perfect for a light contour that is going to be ideal for like your everyday makeup. If you do like to contour but not like go overboard or be like too chiseled or precise. Because of the shade, it's just a little bit on the lighter side for me, but you can still see how it chisels my face in the most beautiful way, and it also brings, of course, that very pretty warmth to your skin. And I'm using this old e.l.f. angled blush brush, which is the one that I like to use always for my kind of like contouring powders or products in general. I'm going to be using a more glowy finishing bronzer. I'm going to be using the Kosas one. This one is in the shade medium. They're golden bronze bronzer. And this one is just a beautiful, not really shimmering because it doesn't have physical shimmer on it. It's just like a very beautiful baked illuminating bronzer, and I've just been obsessed with this product. It is very stunning on the skin, and it just gives you the prettiest kind of like true bronze look on your face. I mean, it's just so pretty. So I'm just gonna pretty much apply it wherever I contoured, but a bit more with this, you know, more liberal with this bigger brush. And with my more highlighted bronzers, I always like to bring it a little bit closer to my nose area, sort of like in this section right here, because ultimately whenever you do get like an actual outside bronze, you always get a little bit of sun and a little bit of more color in the middle part of your face, because that's kind of like where the sun is really hitting you. So I always like to add a little on just the center of my nose and just bring it down a little bit on the sides of my nose, connecting it with my cheeks. Now that bronzer is all done, I do have two new products that I'm super excited to try. One of them is brand new from Charlotte Tilbury, and it's gonna be her Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow. Kind of like a 2-in-1 blush and a lip product. And I also picked up, this one came as a bundle. It was one of the options that you could pick from. So this is the Beauty Light wand, and I got mine in the shade Spotlight. So I think it was the lighter one that was offered, and I'm pretty excited to try this because I've never tried this before, like her light ones, and I've heard so many good things about them. So anyway, I always like to go for bronzer, highlight, and blush in that order, because I do like my highlight to kind of like seem like it's peeking through instead of just, you know, placed on your face. But I like it to be kind of like if you have that highlight coming from within. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and apply this, and I honestly don't want to put it straight up in my face because I don't know how much product is gonna come out, and I don't know the intensity of it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my trusty back of my hand, and I'm just going to kind of like squeeze it there. Oh, it's not a lot of product coming up. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use it right here straight on my face. Okay, so ooh, that's very pretty, and that's very intense. And this is exactly the color that I thought it was gonna be, because some of them looked a bit more like pinkish or a bit more golden. I like my highlights to be like a true champagne shade. So anyway, I'm gonna be using my sponge to blend this into the face. I ended up using my brush just because the blender wasn't doing too good of a job to blend it out. So I'm going to apply just a tiny bit extra on here on the top parts of my brows. And again, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the same brush. Okay, you guys, this is a very pretty color. I really like it. It's perfect for what I like on my highlights. It wasn't, to be completely honest, it wasn't as easy to blend as the other product that I have on this kind of like same packaging of hers. Her bronzer is super easy to blend, but this one I had a harder time to use this one. That's why I wanted to go to the with the brush, just to ensure that the product is just not like looking like it's just sitting on my face. I hate whenever products do that, especially highlights and blushes. I like everything to be kind of like more seamless and blended into each other. So for now, I'm going to try, very exciting, the new Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glow. So I got mine in the shade Color of Dreams. I just picked up one. She only brought out 2 of them because this was pretty expensive. This product is going to be, I believe, 2.5 grams. So pretty small amount of product, but the packaging is just absolutely stunning. She always gets me with her packaging. So, and I love that everything is always so cohesive in her line. And let me just show you the actual product. It comes with a pretty mirror, and then that's what it looks like. So this one was the lighter one out of the 2 shades. So I thought it was gonna be a bit more nude than it really is looking on the pen. I still haven't applied it, of course, on my cheeks. To apply this, I'm gonna go ahead and use the Wet n Wild brush. This one is just a stipple brush, and it's smaller, so it's perfect for just like very precise on where you want to apply it. So I think that first off, I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch it. Okay, so this is, you know, it just feels like a normal cream product. It's okay, so it is a bit more kind of like not as pigmented. It's gonna be more, a little bit lighter, I feel, so that'll allow you to be able to control how much you actually use on your face. So anyway, let's go ahead and start applying this with this brush. I'm just gonna go ahead and smile, and ooh, it is very pigmented on my face now that I like use it with the brush. This is very pretty. I thought it was gonna be a little bit, again, more nude, just because the only 2 colors that were there, this one was the lighter one, but this is kind of like a bit more in the pinky, mauvey end of color. But it is very pretty. I'm gonna use whatever is left in the brush, just kind of like right here in the middle of my nose. Again, I always like to use product there, especially during the spring and summer, because, you know, I feel like it just looks a bit more realistic, like if you had like an actual suntan. So anyway, this is very pretty, and it's applying super easily, and I like how you can actually build the coverage. Instead of getting like a ton of pigment straight up at once, this is very pretty and very easy to just kind of like build. So my camera just stopped recording, but yeah, I just went on and applied, and it's a very beautiful shade. I really like it. It is definitely more on the natural side. It didn't look as much whenever I opened it up because it looks very pigmented and very intense. It kind of reminds me a little bit, now that I'm looking at it, at the Pillow Talk blush in the shade medium, or like the dark medium, I believe it's called. So it's not as pigmented as you would think on the actual face, but it's very beautiful in a way that you can build it up in, you know, however much intensity you want. So I really do appreciate that. And it has a very pretty kind of like glow, because of course this area on my cheeks, there's nothing there. Like the highlight, it's only on the top part of my cheeks. So this is just like the glow coming from the actual blush, and it looks very pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of this on my lips, just because, you know, that's the whole point of this product. It's like a 2-in-1. So let's see how it looks on the lips, and I'm just using my finger for this. So it's barely showing up on my lips, but my lips in that case are very pigmented. So it's just kind of like giving me Your Lips But Better vibe, which I'm not complaining at all. It actually looks really pretty. And it feels very kind of like wet and hydrating to the touch. Like I also do, or I've done this with my, for instance, I can only think of comparing it with the Fenty newest cream blushes. Whenever I apply that on my lips, that is definitely not for the lips. So I do like to go for a more monochromatic look from time to time and use my cream brush, my cream blush as my lipstick. And you cannot really do that with those. I mean, you can, but it's very uncomfortable because it is just very drying. But this one is very hydrating and sort of like wet feeling to the lips, so it is very comfy on the lips. I went off camera and finished up my brows just because it takes me a little bit longer, and lately I've been really loving kind of like back in the brow train with the powder duo by ABH. I've been really loving this probably for the past month or so, so I just wanted to mention that real quick. This is kind of like what I've been using now for my brows, and of course with my usual NYX the Control Freak, just to keep them in place. So anyway, now for my eye look, I'm gonna do something very simple. Morgan Turner was mentioning on her latest video of like the $1,000 wish list, or you know, Sephora spree, that I'm actually gonna be filming pretty soon. It's probably gonna come before this video. Anyway, she was mentioning she wanted to do in her like wish list the Tom Ford Disco Dust, and I remembered how much I used to love it for like my everyday makeup. It's perfect literally for anyone and everyone. It's just the most beautiful palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and use Disco Dust, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply this shade up here. So the more kind of like lighter brown, so you have like a dark brown, a light brown, a more pinkish, and the topper. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that brownish shade, and I'm just going to run this all over my crease. Just with this, this is just a Wet n Wild brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and go back and forth on my crease, like super simple. And I'm gonna use a, so literally that's all I'm gonna do. I just wanted to run a little bit of this product on my crease just to define the crease just a tiny bit more. And I'm gonna be using a cream product. So this one is the Eyes to Mesmerize by Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Jean. This is a beautiful shade, and I've never used it. For whatever reason, I've never used it. I've swatched it, but that's about it. So this is going to be the first time using it, and I love this this Eyes to Mesmerize products by her. They're just the best. So anyway, I'm just going to apply this on my finger. I just run it on the back of my hand just to avoid any excess, and I'm just going to apply this all over my lid. Super simple, perfect for whenever you're in a rush, perfect for the summer that you don't really want a ton of product, but you still want a little something, especially on the lids. And with this same one, I'm just going to apply this on my inner corner to kind of like bring a little bit more light into the look. Literally super simple, but I feel like it just makes a great difference whenever you don't really want to go for like an eyeshadow look, but you want to still have something on your eyes. So here it's just the crease shade, and here we have with the lid color. Again, this is in the shade Jean, and this is, I believe, is the lighter color they carry. I'm gonna go back into the Tom Ford palette with that same shade, so the one up here, with the same brush, and I'm just going to run this a little bit more on the crease just to kind of like blend those two shades together. And that's literally it for the eyeshadows. And now I'm just going to use Teddy to very lightly line my eyes, but I'm not going to do a wing or anything. I'm just going to keep this very close to my lash line. And to fully finish up the eyes, I'm going to go ahead and apply lots of mascara. I'm going to be using the Chanel Le Volume. I haven't used this in a very long time, and it's almost done. Like, it's almost fully finished, so I kind of like want to keep using it so I can repurchase it because I absolutely love this mascara. So anyway, just lots of mascara, and then I'll be right back. Here we have the final look. All I added was, of course, my finishing makeup spray that I completely forgot to mention, but I've used the Scandinavia, the makeup finishing spray, and this one is in the bridal one. I love this product. It helps your makeup last through the entire day, and it gives kind of like a very pretty finishing look. It just makes everything look so much better. And then for my lips, although I do like, and I really did like this shade for my cheeks, on my lips, it's kind of like the perfect Your Lips but better, because this is literally as pigmented as my lips are, so it just helps to kind of like give a more finished appearance on the lips. But still, on my coloring, it's just a little too light for what I go for. I think it's gonna be perfect for whenever I do kind of like a more smoky eye, or if I want to go just super extremely light on my makeup and I just want to add a little something on the lips to give it that Your Lips but better look. This one will be perfect. But today I wanted a bit more of a lighter pinkish lip. So I ended up using a combo of a lipstick and a lip gloss. I just felt like a lip gloss is perfect for this more summery everyday look, and I went for Pink Dusk by Tom Ford. A beautiful, beautiful pink. Again, very easy to apply and just pairing with pretty much any look. And I finish up with this lip gloss. I believe it's the Collagen by Charlotte Tilbury, and this one is in the shade Peachy Plump. So I think it just paired perfect with literally any lipstick. It has a very shine, a very light tint to it, and it just gives a very pretty glossy look to the lips. So anyway, here we have the final look. Again, something I wanted to do something very summery but very appropriate for like every day. So it's super easy, and if I'm not talking, I would do this makeup in no time. The eyes are just so perfect for the summer whenever I don't want to have like a ton of makeup on, because realistically, whenever it's hot outside and Houston weather is grossly humid, it's just kind of like the perfect thing to wear on my eyes, because this eyeshadow will not move. So the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize, you put it on and it's not gonna move at all, no matter how much you sweat. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel before you leave, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!